Welcome to Average Joe's Pool. Today we have another in our series of pool chalk review videos for you, and we're going to be looking at NIR chalk. So what is NIR chalk? Well, this chalk actually comes from Longoni, and we're not actually sure where this is made. Longoni being an Italian company, we suspect this may well be made in the USA, but we can't confirm that. And this chalk is available in two colours, either green or, as we have here, blue. And as you can see, this comes boxed with 3 cubes in each box. And with regards to pricing on this, the lowest price that we could find online at the dedicated pool suppliers was $8.50 for the 3 cubes. And as you may well expect, this product is also available to buy on Amazon. However, it is a little bit more expensive at $12.95 for the 3 cubes. But of course, if you are a Prime member, you'll probably get free shipping included within that price. So this gives us an average price of around $3.50 approximately per cube on the NIR. If you are interested in picking up a set of these from Amazon, we will add Amazon links into the video description below. So if you are buying these, please do help us out here at Average Joe's Pool and be sure to use our links. Now, we don't know a massive amount about our NIR chalk, but they do claim that this stuff adheres to your tip longer than any other chalk on the market. And that's definitely a big claim to make. So can this live up to that? Well, if you've seen any of our chalk review videos before, we've got some technical tests that we're going to put this stuff through. So let's crack on. So here at Average Joe's, we do test a lot of different brands of chalk. So to help us do that, we have a standard set of equipment that we use and also a standard set of tests. And if you want any more details on the equipment that we use or the test that we perform, please be sure to check out our chalk off video where we compare lots of different brands of chalk all in one video. And in our chalk off videos, we go into more detail on what the particular tests entail and the equipment that we use. When it comes to application, the NIR is definitely a little difficult upon the first chalking. It tends to go on quite thinly and the coverage is a little uneven and patchy, and I found that I had to go back over it and fill in the patchy spots several times to try and get a good and even coat. And it definitely has quite a grippy feel. You can feel it grabbing at the tip as you apply it, far more so than our benchmark chalk, Master. And one thing I noticed whilst chalking is that pretty big chunks were falling off whilst chalking. However, it doesn't feel like a dirty chalk, and it's not too bad if you do accidentally get some on your hands. So overall, it's not a bad chalk to apply, but it does feel a little rough, and more importantly, it does go on thinly and is a little patchy. So we'll award 2 stars for application. Next, we're testing the number of draw shots we can perform without rechalking and ensuring we always hit the cue ball with the same point on the tip. And this test is repeated a minimum of 3 times to ensure we get a good average. And a good point of reference for this test is Master chalk, which achieved an average of 4 draw shots. And our NIR chalk outperformed Master, coming in with an average of 6 draw shots before miscuing. A pretty decent result. So we'll award the NIR with 4 stars for Miscue Limit.
I can't believe this. I can't believe my eyes.
Now we're moving on to the chalk retention test, where we will strike the cue ball 10 times using a firm strike and then 10 times using a hard strike. The cue will be lightly rechalked between shots as required, and we want to see how much chalk remains on the cue and also how much remains on the cue ball. And after our 10 firm shots, we can see that we do have a high amount of splatter, and that's chalk that should remain on the tip of your cue. And when we have a look at the cue ball, we can see that it has 3 to 4 clearly visible strike marks still remaining. So next the test is repeated again, only this time using a hard hit. And with our hard hit, we definitely have less splatter that's visible, which is common during this test because the chalk tends to spread over a much wider area when using a harder shot. Likewise, on the harder hits, the cue ball tends to clean itself slightly better against the cloth due to the extra speed. And the NIR's definitely done slightly better with the hard hits, but still has 4 slightly visible spots remaining. So overall, we'd say that the chalk retention on the NIR is a little worse than average. We're definitely losing quite a lot of chalk to the splatter, and we're seeing retention on the cue ball. And whilst this is not ideal, it's definitely not the worst we've seen, so we'll award 2 stars for chalk retention.
There's a circus tent spaceship, right? But it's not there anymore, but we were there, we saw the whole thing.
Next we're moving on to our cleanliness test. The initial chalking of the cue and additionally every minor re-chalking between shots on our chalk retention test was done over a piece of paper so we could collect all of that waste dust which usually ends up on your floor. You can clearly see the large particles that have been shed during chalking and lots of general mess. So unfortunately there's just no getting around the fact that this is definitely one of the messiest chalks that we have tested. Additionally, we did have a fair bit of splatter during our chalk retention test, which is chalk that would normally end up on your cloth. So when it comes to cleanliness, the NIR limps home with just 1 star. Finally, we're looking at value for money. And whilst it did slightly better than the Master in our Miscue Limit test, it did underperform in every other test, and it's one of the messiest chalks we've seen. Now $3.50 certainly is not an expensive chalk and is still cheaper than many competitors. But when compared to the industry standard Master at around 50 cents a cube, it simply does not stack up well. It's 7 times the price with no practical advantages and is much messier. So we'll award the NIR 1.5 stars for value for money. And so averaging out our scores across our 5 test categories, we get an official Average Joe's rating. And our NIR chalk comes in with 2.1 stars out of 5. A very disappointing result for what turned out to be a very disappointing chalk from Longoni. And so there we have it, that is the NIR pool chalk. So thank you very much for joining us here at Average Joe's Pool, we really do appreciate it. And do remember, if you're interested in picking this up from Amazon, there will be Amazon links in the video description below. And can we just ask a quick favour before you leave us here on YouTube? Can you take 1 second out of your busy schedule just to be sure to hit that like button for us? It really does help us out. And likewise, whilst you're there at the same time, why not also hit that subscribe button and switch on notifications so you can find out about all of our future videos. So we hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, we've got loads more chalk review videos available for you to check out on our YouTube channel. We really do appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Statement, whether you come or stay behind means nothing to me, but I take care of my own.